All right, in this video, we're going to try and build out one of these SaaS boilerplates templates. And what you can do with these is anytime you want to start some sort of SaaS project, you just copy this code over and then you've got the foundation of your SaaS product that you're trying to build. So you'll have things like a backend set up. You'll also have like payments with Stripe in most cases. And then you'll have like your Next.js template set up with maybe a landing page, dashboard, and authentication as well will be integrated. Now, whatever one you choose, in terms of if you're buying one of these SaaS boiler templates, you will get different features and different things that it does inside of it. So I'm just on this website here, which is boilerplatelist.com. And you can see we've got lists of different boilerplates. So we've got Next.js templates and it's got the price down the right-hand side. So you can see like most of these are quite pricey. This one's free actually, Enterprise SaaS Starter Kit. But you've got some here like Bedrock. Let's just click into one of these and see what it is. This one looks like the most expensive. So start your SaaS project. And if you scroll down, it tells you what they've got. So like user dashboard, authentication, subscriptions, invoices, blog, etc. And this is made with Stripe and Next.js. So quite simple. And then the top one here is 31 SaaS. This one, same thing, Next.js. It uses Stripe and it uses Next.js for the back end. So what we're going to try and do is use Claude 4 today. And we're going to try and build one of these, see what it gives us using the latest Claude models. So in order for us to do this, we're going to jump over to anthropic.com and this is Claude Code. We're going to try and use Claude Code. We could use things like Cursor to do this, and maybe I'll try that in another video. But in this case, we're going to try use Claude Code because apparently this is one of the best coding assistants available at the moment. So what it says here in order to do this is your code's new collaborator. So this is all done through the terminal actually, which is a bit different. I'm used to using Cursor or VS Code extensions like Rue Code and things like that, or Klein. So we're going to actually do this using the terminal. So all it says here to do is npm install and then give it obviously the npm link there or string at the end. Let's just see if it says anything else. So it does say access to Claude Code as part of a Mac subscription. So I've changed this to individual. We can use the Anthropic API, which is what I'm going to be trying setting this up. I've never done this before. So we're going to see what we have to do here. Or you can go like one of these max plans, 5 and 20. So Claude is included in your Mac subscription. Simple flat monthly rates with no usage. Surprise. Great value for everyday use. We're not going to use that. We don't need that. There's probably cheaper alternatives out there that still do a good job. So I've clicked this start building and let's see what it goes to here to get this started. So what type of account sounds right? Individual. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy some credits and then we'll jump back in a second. So just before I buy those credits, let me jump over to VS Code here. I've got a new folder set up, which is SaaS boiler code. And I'm going to just try and install that NPM that it gave us. So I'm just going to open up the terminal here. And then I'm just going to paste that in. So npm install -g and then the Anthropic -AI Claude Code. So let's just see this. It's probably going to ask me for some sort of API key here, I'd imagine. So I just had a quick look on the website, and all you have to do is actually, after you've installed it, is just type the word Claude in the terminal here. And then what comes up is this. So let's just run through this together. Again, this is completely new to me. So let's see what we can do here. Choose the text that looks the best with your terminal. So let's just say dark mode ability. So now we have to log in. This is what I thought it was going to ask me a second ago. So select login method, requires max version. Let's just go the API. So sure, let's authorize that. Buy credit. So this is what I was saying. This is why I never bought the credits, because I thought it was going to do this. So let me just quickly buy these credits now. So I'm just going to buy $5 worth. Okay, so that's me bought $5 worth of credits. Let's see how long this lasts. It just comes to this: build something great. You're all set up for Claude Code. You can now close this window and then we'll jump back to VS Code. So let's have a look over on VS Code now. Okay, so at the bottom here, we can now see login successful. Press enter to continue. So let's give this a shot. Okay, welcome to Claude security notes. Press enter to continue. Let's go. Okay, so it's just asking us to enable this. So use recommended settings. Let's do that. Do you trust the files in this folder? Yes, sure. Okay, so let's just say literally hello. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know if it's even going to act like a chat, but this is quite interesting to me. So let's see what it does. Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. So it does actually speak to us. Quite interesting. So what we're going to do is try and build this boilerplate. So what I've done is over in ChatGPT, I've built out a prompt that I can copy and paste into here. I've used one of those websites. So let's jump over to ChatGPT and show you what I've done over there. Okay, so I'm back on the boilerplate list here, and what I done was I just took the top one here, $129, which is the 31 SaaS, and then I just literally copied everything from here. So all of its features and stuff like user dashboard, hosting, payment providers. I don't know if I actually got this features as well. Let me just copy this. And then in here, I just pasted it in. So I actually never added the features. Okay, and here's the prompt. Key features, protected dashboard routes. Can you also add these features? And then what I'm going to say here is I only want it to give me an email off because I don't want to be getting all the Google details and everything else. So let's just say I only need email off for the prompt. Okay. Okay, and then here's the prompt. So let me just copy this. Now we're going to jump back over to the terminal here, and first I'm going to ask it to plan for me. I don't want it to just go straight away and build this. So I'm going to say, can you help me build out the plan for this SaaS? Okay, and I'm just pasted that in. So pasted, it just said pasted text 1 plus 37 lines. And I actually seen on a Claude talk, one of the main developers talk about this. He says you should try and plan before you actually just go in, so you can get an idea of what it's actually going to do. So let's see what this does here when we click this. So it's gave us a to-dos, update to-dos. Okay. It's also gave us like the folder structure. So it's got the app, auth, login, sign up, dashboard billing settings. Super cool. Blog, not really needed, but for some reason it's put that in there. Pricing, API, pricing's a good one. It's got the auth API, Stripe, and also webhooks, which is something Stripe needs. Globals.css, layout, page, components, UI, auth. Okay, so it looks like it's got the basics here. Key environment variables, so it's just got like the Supabase, Stripe, public key, Stripe, webhook. Okay, so everything looks good. Would you like me to start implementing this plan? I can begin with the high priority tasks like setting up Next.js. Okay, I'm just going to say yes. So let's see what it does. So now it's calculating and doing its thing. So let's see what we get back here. It's probably going to ask me for keys and stuff as it goes, I'd imagine. One thing to note there, I just enabled auto accept edits on. So I think that will potentially stop it from continuing to prompt me. Maybe if it goes in some other direction, it might ask me again for certain things that it's doing, but I think that's probably going to take the pop-ups asking me to confirm stuff off for now. So it's just came to its first completion step. I think that maybe took like between 5 to 10 minutes there in total, just prompting me to like confirm certain steps that it was doing. It ran into a few errors here and there, but nothing major. And it looks like it's wrote some clean files and code and stuff. So it says here, perfect. I've successfully implemented the core project structure with Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and Supabase authentication. The boilerplate now includes completed Next.js 15 with app router and TypeScript, Tailwind CSS version 4 with complete design system. That's insane, actually. Supabase configuration with SSR support, email authentication system with logins, sign-up pages, protected routing middleware, database types and schemas. So I mean, it seems like it's done what we've asked. Next up are the high priority tasks, Stripe integration and dashboard creation. The project is ready for you to add your environment variables and start building your SaaS application. Would you like me to continue with the setting up Stripe subscriptions and dashboard, or would you prefer to configure your Supabase project first? So I'm just going to tell it to continue as is at the moment. I've actually not gave it the environment variables at the moment, so let's see if it asks me for that. I don't think it will. It should be able to go ahead and do this. So here we go again. Okay, so it's just finished its latest run through here, and it's actually completed all of the to-dos in this one. It took around 10 to 15 minutes, I believe there. In that time, what I done was I created a Supabase backend, and I also created a new Stripe backend as well, just like a playground that I can use to get some API keys to actually test this. Your SaaS boilerplate is now production ready and includes everything needed to launch quickly. To get started, just follow the README. So it's also gave us a README, which is insane. So let's have a quick look through this. Like, if this works, honestly, it is literally insane. This could take someone quite a bit of time to put together, unless they bought one of these boilerplate templates like we've seen, but they're like $100 to $300 potentially. Okay, the README is down the bottom here. So look what it's done. SaaS boilerplate, a complete SaaS boilerplate built with Next.js. Cool features, like amazing. Quick start, clone and install. So it gave a quick start guide as well. npm install, cd environment. So copy the environment variables, fill. So it's gave the environment variables down here, and then fill your environment variables in .env local. Literally amazing. In your database, create the following tables in your Supabase database. So it gave us the SQL as well that we put inside the Supabase, and I'll do this on this video just so we can see. So it's a profiles table. It's also gave us row level security, which is this RLS. On the profiles, it's gave subscription ID, subscription status, like very basic, but still does the job. Okay, so let's start with just getting the environment variables filled out. So we should have a .env in here. If it's not gave us one, we can make one. Example. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just change this to local, and I'm going to update this and get all the keys that we need here, just so that we've got this part sorted. Okay, so I'm just going to try and run this at the moment. I've still to add some of the env files in there. I've added most of them at the moment. The only one I've not added is the webhook for Stripe. The reason being is I'm going to try and spin up a quick server using nrock, I think that's how you pronounce it, which basically gives us a HTTPS server, and it will show basically the code here in a live browser, and then we can use that as the webhook link. I'll show you what I mean in a second if you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to try and run this just to see what happens. So this is the first time I'm testing this. Let's see if we can actually get something up and running. So lifecycle scripts include SaaS boilerplate start, npm run script, npm run dev, npm run dev, I should have wrote that. And this should actually spin up on localhost at the moment, as long as there's no errors. Okay, so the first thing it's taken us to is just the 3001 login page, actually. I'm wondering if it's redirecting us to this. It might be better trying to just take us to the dashboard. It's not going to do that. So I'm going to just click create a new account. So it's allowing us to do that or sign in. I've already put in the supabase.env. So let's try this, just create an email here and we can see if it works. So I'm just going to try thomas@gmail.com. See what happens here. It might actually send us an email. I've not checked this. Email address Thomas is invalid, so it's got some checks on there. Okay, let's just try a test email. Okay, so it sent me a second link there, and I just signed in using that in my Gmail, and it's taken us to this, which is the dashboard. So looks quite cool, to be honest. It's got my email at the top. It's got dashboard billing settings. Welcome to your dashboard. Sorry. Hello, Thomas. This is your protected dashboard. So this is obviously only authenticated users can get access to this. Usage, track your application usage here. Analytics, settings. Okay, none of these are clickable. Let's just try clicking the dashboard. So we're on the dashboard at the moment. Let's try clicking billing. Okay, so we've got our first error here, which I think would be quite easy to fix. This could be potentially because reading subscription status, I don't have any of the Stripe stuff set up at the moment. Let's check the settings just to see what's inside of here. Okay, nothing inside of the settings at the moment. Okay, so it has built the landing page as well, which is looking not too bad actually. It's got the pricing points. So that's another little error there. When you go to the main URL, which is in this case localhost 3001, it should just take you to the landing page first, and then the user should be able to click through this. But this landing page looks quite decent, to be honest, for a first variation. You can prompt this further. Let's see if any of this is clickable. None of this is clickable. View pricing. It does take us down. When we click that, it will take us to the pricing. We've got this. It's gave us the monthly annual as well, which is cool. If I click on this, it won't work at the moment, I don't think, just because Stripe, but it does say localhost says contact us for enterprise pricing. I don't have any of the Stripe products in there at the moment. I think that might be potentially why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill all of this out, and I'll come back again and we'll see what we can get here. So I thought it would be good just to show how I'm updating these certain things. So there's a few things that I said I never done at the moment. The first being is create the profiles table. So I'm just going to copy this, jump back over to Supabase, and then you go to the SQL editor here on the left-hand side, and then just paste that in, and then click run. So this will set a table up, and then to check if it's done that, you can go to table editor, and you'll now see a profiles here. Which means it's done it correctly, and you'll see all of the rows or columns, sorry, of what you've got, Stripe customer ID and stuff. And this is probably why some of that stuff was not working before, even like the home page and stuff not shown, because it's probably doing checks on this table and saying that the table doesn't exist. But now that table is there. So that's the first thing that we've fixed. Let's jump back, and what I'm going to do is set up the webhook in Stripe. So in order to do that, I've set up this NRock, I believe you call it, it's NGRock. I don't know how you pronounce this, it's a weird name, but this basically allows me to put the current code base on a HTTPS server and share that across. So that's what we're using at the moment. I've already done that. It's literally just a one piece of code you copy and paste. So now this is actually on a HTTPS live server, so anyone could really access this right now. Obviously after this video I'll be killing this. I just use this to mess around with different apps. So at the moment that's running on there. So if we jump back, let's just set up the webhook on Stripe. So / I believe it's / API / Stripe / webhooks. I'm not sure if we need to include this API, sorry. I do not know. I'm going to keep it in there just now and we'll give it a shot. So it's webhooks as well, so just double check. And then it says events on your account and events on connected accounts. So we want to select the events. It gave us that list in the README. So if we scroll down, so what we want is customer subscription created. Just paste this in here and it'll give you them. Customer subscription created, okay, and then I'll add those events. So this could be wrong, remember. I'm not sure if we need to include that, and that should be a / in there as well. Yep, I think that's good. Okay, so it's waiting for events at the moment. So we can test this in a second, but that seems to be good. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is just create the products within Stripe as well. So I'll just do that off camera. It won't take me too long, rather than you watching and getting bored here. Okay, so I've created those two products in Stripe here. I just did a pro one and a starter. That's what the code base gave us. You can always add more if that's something you want to do, and these are recurring. One thing to note is when you're copying these price IDs, if you're doing this the same way that I've done it, it's actually not the product ID you want. You need to click on here and copy the price ID. It's something that's caught me up a few times, so just wanted to put that in the notes here. Copy that price ID, and then that's what you paste in your .env and your code base. So that should be everything. So what we're going to do now is test this and make some adjustments on it as well in the code base. So I'm going to first just reset the server, and then we'll jump over to the code and see what we've got. Okay, so we are finally up and running here. I had a few issues with some of the env URLs and stuff, specifically around this nrock or ngrock URL here that I'm using just so I can get HTTPS running. But now what it's doing is it's taking us to the homepage, which is cool to see. So this is the landing page. So it's just got SaaS app. It's got like that sort of tailwind sort of blur effect in the back there, like the purpley blue color. We've got sign in, get started. We've got view pricing. Let's have a look. Takes us down to the bottom here. The prices I've put in are not the same as this. So I've got starter and pro. I've got $99 and $250. Easy enough to change. I just put them in quickly while I was building it. We've got some bullet points here, features, some reviews, and then the frequently asked questions. So you can just update these, and then at the bottom you've got this as well. So I don't know what's going to happen here if I try and click on one of these. Let's see what happens. So contact us. So it's not letting us actually use this at the moment. Yep, none of that is working. So what we're going to try and do is sign in. Nothing working on this either, actually. Yep, nothing seems to be working, actually. So let's try, oh, it changed there. Try sign in again. Yeah, none of these buttons seem to be working. Oh, there we go. So sign up works now. So I'm going to just use the same email and try and log in. So after I've logged in, it's taken me back to the dashboard. Everything looks the same as before. Let's just try some of these, see if anything clicks. Yep, nothing is clicking. Dashboard we're on at the moment. Let's try billing, see if anything happens. So it's got an error in billing. Cannot read properties of nil, reading subscription status. That's actually something to do with obviously Stripe. The way that the flow should technically work is when someone signs up, they should have to pay first, in my opinion, or they set up an account and then there's basically a block from them seeing the dashboard where they have to pay before they get access to the dashboard. But right now it doesn't look like, because obviously subscription status is empty in the back end in Supabase. So that's why it's probably getting this error. Nothing. Okay, so that's where we are currently at the moment. The only thing I can think of doing to get this work is to change the whole flow. But the whole purpose of this video was to see if we could get it to build as a boilerplate. I think this is a good start. I'm not going to build out the full boilerplate on this video because it could end up probably hours long. But I think this is a good example of how powerful Claude can actually be, Claude Code specifically, because that's what we're using here. It built everything out, and this is the first shot. I've not asked it to change any of the code at the moment. I can do that, and I'll maybe do that in a later video, see if I can just get this full boilerplate completely finished. It'll probably take a couple hours to get everything really hashed out where someone can just copy the code and then get it working. But for now, we'll leave it here. So we did get everything working, and I hope you enjoyed this. Is there any questions down below on how I've done all of this so far? Just let me know and I can answer those for you. Thanks for watching.